Hi, Abhishek.
Good evening, sir.
Hi. So good. We have. So are we all set?
Yes, sir. Just one more minute, as the student inflow is still there.
Okay. And
We have Sarthak and Sarthak just left. Sneha is here.
okay. Anushri.
Anushri is joining.
Okay.
Anushri, are you already here with a different name? I can't find because Sarthak had joined from a different ID.
Acha. Okay.
Yeah. Now he has joined with his name.
Okay.
Let me... Anushri, have you joined? Oh yes, Anushri is there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Just let me make you the host. So, can I request all to please switch on your cameras? Let's fill it like a two-way communication. Pandemic is almost gone. We are now not habituated to.
Sir, this is Rudranshi's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Rudranshi's mother.
Yes, ma'am. Please tell me.
I just keep my video off because I'm not
No
a
problem.
student.
No problem. No problem. Even if you
Okay,
keep it on, it's we don't mind.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, very good evening to all of you. As the students are still joining in, but we can't delay it more. I will start the session with congratulating all of you present here for getting the admission offer from Anant National University for the 4-year bachelor design program. So welcome to Anant family. The agenda was that of this session. So this is the first session. We'll be doing similar sessions for other specialization in the coming few days. And we are recording this session because I know you all have board exams. You took the time out for this 1 hour and attending, but there are many who are not able to join the session because of the board exam scheduled tomorrow. So we will be recording all the sessions. We'll be uploading all these videos on YouTube, and we'll share the links as I am sharing other details on the WhatsApp with you all. So today, before I start the session, I give the session, give this floor to Vijay sir, who heads the interaction design program. I would like to invite the students studying interaction design at AnantU University. So we have three students here. So we have Anushri Mukherjee. She is interaction design semester 4 student. We have Sneha Sharma, semester 6 interaction design, and Sarthak, semester 6 interaction design here. So I will ask Anushri first to share her experience, her journey in the last 1.5, 2 years at Anant into Bachelor of Design program, and specifically for the interaction design program. And you can also share your life at AnantU as well.
Thank you, sir. So, hello and good evening, everyone. So, I'm Anushri Mukherjee from second year Interaction Design at Anant National University. So, to start with, when I was in your place, I always thought that interaction was all about technology. But but it all changed when I first attended the workshop, IXD workshop that was conducted by by Anant National University. I think when I attended the workshop, it completely changed my view about interaction. I got to know that interaction was not only about technology, but it's somewhat surrounds every aspect of user interaction part. So then after attending the workshop, I realized that I am somewhat interested in interaction design. So after in our first year, I explored other disciplines as well. But I somewhat felt that interaction is a place where I fit in the best. So after taking up interaction in my second year, the first year was a kind of a very good experience. And I think interaction, one of the best things that I find about interaction is that the faculties are very diverse. The knowledge the knowledge that the faculties have are very diverse from different disciplines. They try to put all the information together in a place and then deliver it to us. And we also have faculties, international faculties, very well-known national level faculties. So they all try to deliver like 360 degree of the course. And according to me, I feel like in this department, it is up to us how we deliver our work. Like the difficulty level is somewhat set by us. The assignments are given to us, and then it's our challenge to set the difficulty barrier, like to how much level we can challenge the assignment and go for it. So my personal experience in interaction has been a fun journey. We actually learn a lot, starting from technology, non-technology part. Like right now, our course, we are working with cardboard. We are also learning how to work with cardboards as well, and then deliver it to the green signal students. So the thing is like you will also get a chance to go outside in the world and then learn new stuffs, not just sit in front of the laptop and just work on it. And interaction department will also give freedom and support you in whatever you want to do. And I think all our faculties out here are amazing, and life at AnantU is superb. The hostel life at AnantU is the dream student life, hostel life that we can have, starting from interacting with friends, working together in the common area, and then working on the group assignments that we get. And I think it's a very fun environment out here, both at university as well in hostel. So I hope that you guys I will see you guys future as the next upcoming batch. So all the best to you guys. And this is this is about what I feel about interaction and my life at Anant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anushri. Sarthak, if you can share your experience.
Hi guys, so I'm Sarthak and I'm a semester 6 interaction design student. So it has been like a long time I've been in the university, and it has been a varied experience overall. So interaction design can be about tech if you want to make it about tech, but there's a lot of other things involved in interaction design. So it's overall like creating an experience and building something upon it. So there's like various iterations you can go into interaction design. Like you can specialize at any thing that you want after you do the bachelor's in interaction design. So it's it's more of like experience design, and it's more of an experiential learning. You can clearly diversify to any kind of field that you want. Like for example, I had an exhibition, and I also did some experiments with Arduino. I did a lot of coding. I also made UI UX, the basic interaction design thing, and I'm also doing product design as my minor. So no other college offers this, but Anand provides you to an option to take a minor as well. So that's also there. And in interaction design, it's not just like tech based. We also did like a lot of things. A lot of external faculties come in, and we do a lot of varied things. And so a project which Anushri also mentioned was Green Signal, where we collaborated with the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation and created a more enriching experience for the school going students who like cannot afford to go to school. So that's a project as well. You can check out the Green Signal project at YouTube as well. So yeah, that would be it. And like the student life experience is amazing actually. So as a part of the student council as well, so we host events, and any kind of events and any kind of club that you want to form, if you have interest in anything, there's always a club for it, and you can like join in and have any kind of social interactions. There's multiple events which are spread across the calendar, and there's always events happening on campus, so you won't be bored at all. There's sports, there's extracurricular activities, there's debates, there's a lot of things which go around on campus all the time, and seniors are here to help you all the time, so don't need to worry about anything. That would be my part of it.
Thank you, Sarthak. Sneha, if you can share your experience.
Yes, so as these two have already shared so much, so I just want to add up some of the things. So I want to share the journey of what I thought of interaction design in the starting and how it is right now. So to be honest, I always thought that we're going to learn UI UX maybe because that's what we all have heard, all along. But when we started this, there were so many different courses which we never even imagined that we're going to study, like the digital story lab, in which we made the movie, or the evolution of technology, in which we have learned like from where it started, where it is going, and how it will be in the next 10 years, the psychology, the management, and so many more courses, including the web tech, which we all are afraid of a little. But at the like in the courses, you will come to know that it's not anything to be afraid of. It's just that you need some patience and confidence for it. And every time we all used to question that why we're studying it, what's the relevance of it. But now when we see the bigger picture, I think it's so because of my network.
Yeah, carry on, carry on.
Carry on, Sneha.
Yeah. So I think and every time we all used to, question that why we are studying and why we need all these courses, because it's not relevant like of what we have think of interaction design is. But now when we see the bigger picture, we understand that we are not just learning to communicate with the systems or computers, but at the same time we are learning to communicate with the humans, I think. And I think that's more important, because at the end of the day, who we're going to design is, it will be humans, right? So it's more important that we understand that interaction not just about the screens, it's way beyond that. And because of all the wide ranges of courses, we have so many options to explore. In my class only, I know so many students who wants to go in game designing, marketing, like from interaction you're going to do marketing, then UI, backend development, and so many more other courses. And as Anushri said, the best part of being an interaction design student is having the exposure from so many faculties, which are not just from India, but from New York, Israel, and they have so many different stories to tell you. So at the end, I just want to say that all you can do, like all we all can do all of all of these things, because it's not, the rocket science. You all need just a little patience, motivation, and confidence in yourself, and the habit of showing up, because no one in the college going to tell you that come to the class, do the assignments. It's all up to you. So in all these 4 years, it's just either you make it or break it. So all the best. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sneha, for sharing your experience and your journey till now. The floor is open for you, Vijay sir. And
So thank you. And I'm very happy to hear all three of these of our students. We didn't prep at all. We didn't really, not really spoke about, what you need to say or what you're not to do. So I'm very glad that it's a very rich experience for them. And thanks. I know some of you want to go back. So Sneha, Sarthak, Anushri, you guys can log out if you want. You don't have to kind of stay. So that's perfectly fine. Unless if some of the students have any specific question for these three, then please ask now, so that if not, then they can log out. Is there any hands?
I mean,
Please raise your
any
hands
kind of
if there are
questions
any
regarding
questions.
anything. Any
please
kind of
unmute and
campus
ask.
life. Like, ask any kind of questions. Campus life, hostel life.
Yeah, because
Anything
it's
you want to
better to
ask.
hear from the students than the faculty, because faculty bolega, "Acha, ye to अच्छा ही बोलेंगे ना." Students can actually.
Don't worry,
tell
we
you
are
the
not
truth.
trained to speak. We are just being called to
हाँ,
speak.
ये अच्छा
We're
अच्छा नहीं
informed
बोलेंगे,
only
ये
a
सच
couple of
बोलेंगे।
hours back to be interacting with the
हाँ,
students.
ये सच बोलेंगे ये लोग।
Yeah, full impromptu. This is going on.
Okay, Sarthak, this is Rajesh Mishra. I am actually the student's father. I mean, Ishan, my son, he's has a board exam tomorrow, so he's opted out of this. So I'm just sitting in with you guys. And one of the first things that he asked me was, he said, Dad, one of the most interesting things about this college is the campus life, and you guys are talking about it very vividly. So
Yeah.
he's very keen on the travel club, and all those clubs. So that's a question he had asked me to sort of,
Yeah,
ask you.
so we have like currently the active clubs are around 20 plus. So we have a travel club, we have a gaming club, there's a drama club, dance club, music club, and there are a lot more. So you can opt for any kind of clubs that you want, and from the first year only there's direct involvement with the clubs. So as soon as you come to campus, you can be the part of any club you want, and you can check the AnantU student life page. So there we put on content like all the time, and there you can see all the activities being performed by clubs and all the things. So we are recently going to Pushkar. So that is also a club activity which we are doing for Holi. So that is there. So key things keep on happening in the college. So you can be a part of anything that you want to.
Cool, thanks.
Anybody else, guys? Nobody has any questions. How is that possible? Are you guys excited to come to college? Finally.
अभी उनको थोड़ा कल के एग्जाम का प्रेशर भी है.
It's understandable.
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions?
अगर नहीं है तो सार्थक thanks, Anushri thanks, Sneha
So-
thanks. Can log out.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Okay, so welcome again. So my name is Vijay Sekhon. I lead the interaction design program, and my journey to interaction design has been quite sort of, in a way, quite diverse from where I come from. I actually graduated from fine arts. I did my bachelor's and master's in painting. Then I did my second master's in interaction design at a school called Interactive Telecommunication Program, which is part of Tisch School of the Arts in New York University. So I studied my sort of focusing on interaction design. And the reason I went for that school was while I was doing my bachelor's and master's, my work was getting very diverse. Like I really wanted to use a lot of mediums, not just a traditional medium of painting or sculpture. I wanted to sort of mix mediums. I wanted to bring body into it. I wanted to bring performance into it, so many things. And I really didn't know that where I was heading in terms of my work. But when I found that I wanted to sort of bring all these things together and at the same time make make my work medium agnostic. So it's not really dependent on one particular medium, but actually depending on the context where I'm working on, and I should be fluid in the way I work. And this program of interaction design it's called ITP at NYU, which is kind of a sort of a global leader in interaction design in many ways. It spearheaded the program from 1979 onwards. So it sets the benchmark for the globally what interaction design field is going to be in coming decades, in fact. So I was very lucky to be part of that, and got to know amazing people and studied there. And I came back, I continued my practice, and I became part of Reliance Industries. I joined them, and I sort of was part of the Geo team in some ways, from the conception all the way to its launch. So I kind of was part of the team of brand building, brand manual making, various products under the Geo brand name that were getting developed. So I was part of all that. And then I was teaching all along while working in a corporate world, because being an artist and coming from a creative field, I always had one foot on this side. And I was teaching at various universities while I was working full-time in a corporate side. And then I decided to, because my research interests were was taking much more time. And so it was time for me to move to academics full-time. And I joined Anant National University in Ahmedabad. And one of the reasons I choose Ahmedabad also because Ahmedabad was also in a city of my birth, but I had moved out in 1995 and didn't come back till 2021. So it was actually a very, very long gap of coming back. And it's a very different city. It's a very different culture now than what I left in 95. So long story short, I started the interaction design program, became part of it. And we started thinking very, very clearly where technology was heading in next decade and more and beyond. Because one of the very key experiences I had while doing my interaction design program at ITP was the technology or the softwares I was really dependent on, which I was really working with. By the time I came out and started working in the world, they were all redundant. They were all outdated. They were not supported anymore. And I was like, oh my God, I spent so much time learning this software and becoming sort of very good at it. And suddenly it's like gone. It was no longer there. And especially like a program like Macromedia Director, or even now Flash slowly phased out. And so the program, so there was a clear learning that we don't have to be dependent on any software, but learn how to learn so that you can adapt to any new emerging technology. You can work with any new technology. It doesn't have to be dependent on a particular software. So that became sort of very, very critical sort of bottom line, that the program needs to evolve in a certain way that the students graduating from this department are completely at home in the world they are entering. And it doesn't matter, it's a new kind of, because the way technology is changing, it's changing before you know it, it's outdated. The programs are outdated, new programs are coming up, new technologies are coming in. So it's very, very, very important for you all to learn to be very agile, learn to how to adapt very fast, and to anticipate change, and to be prepared for it. So that's in a way helped in shaping the kind of curriculum and bringing people to the program which would facilitate this kind of learning. Hence, some of the students who shared their experience. Interaction design is perhaps one of the few programs which attracts global faculty. And we have a faculty from Korea, we have faculty from New York, USA, we have faculty from Israel. Right now, one of the faculty from Israel is visiting us, and he's teaching a course called Designing Smart Living. So we pay a very, very particular attention to the kind of people we'll attract to the program, so that the learning culture, the learning atmosphere is to the mark, with the time we are living in, and also making sure the students have very, very strong fundamentals. I think because if you have a strong fundamentals, you can adapt and move to different fields as you kind of go along in your career. And as Sarthak was mentioning, that there are students who are interested in very, very different fields. Doesn't have to be one particular area. So if I look at my my batch, when we were studying interaction design, and I look back at who's doing what right now, it's very, very interesting actually. If I look at that, and I made a chart actually where everybody is, and I'll just share, Abhishek, if you can enable screen sharing for me. I'll just share that list I made of where all the interaction design students are.
I have given the right, sir.
Okay, I'll just share that. And so if you look at this, so they are head of data products. Some of them became entrepreneurs, started their own companies while right after college. Some of them working in the exhibition design field, because a lot of museum design are becoming interactive. They are no longer very static designs, and especially in events, which are they're also interactive. So that's where a lot of people are working. A lot of people are working in front-end development, which is traditional UI interface design area. So those people are working. Those people are working in service design. They're working in UX designer. They are doing digital experience design. There were couple of guys went into filmmaking, because non-linear and linear storytelling is pretty big, especially traditional filmmaking, documentary filmmaking, and in game design. There's a whole sort of need of strong narrative. So a lot of people are doing that. Digital storytellers, UX researchers became inventors. They invented new musical instrument. There's a friend of mine who invented new musical instrument. The product manager, they're in big companies, leading products. They are content and digital strategy, data visualization, digital companies, leaders. There are a lot of them are in leadership positions. They're game designers. Some of them became artists, like they were doing their own projects, showing in museums, exhibitions, and some went to academia, media theory. So it's a very, very, it's a kind of, it's interaction design in many ways is like transdisciplinary design in its true sense, because you will be working with web technologies, you will be working with ideas of social design, you will work with ideas of physical computing, so learning how to code, working with Arduino, learning basics of electronics, learning basic of electricity, how it works. So you will do that. You will also learn about storytelling, the structure of story, and how to weave it in the digital story formats. So you will do that. So at a bachelor's level, you need to experiment with a lot of things and all possibilities of interaction design. So it's a place of experimentation and working with various and making your hands very dirty with doing many kinds of things, and then figuring out, what is my core interest? Where do I stand in it? And then taking your career focused on that path. Let's say if you're interested in game design, you learn about aspects of game design, you learn about coding, you learn about storytelling, you learn about human behavior, you learn about interaction and interface design, and then you take all these learnings into focused game design field. So you're more prepared to go into game design area. It's not just about learning how to make a game, in which you can probably do online very, very cheaply nowadays. These MOOC courses are there in Coursera and so many other places. So if you want to do traditional just UI and UX design and learning how to make design, then please don't spend money on coming to university. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. You can totally do it online and actually get a job and work. But if you want to come to university, then it's a very different way of learning. And as a lot of these things, the student life, the campus life is pretty active, and it's a great thing because 90 or 95% of your learning is peer learning. When two of you working together, it's learning together. The faculty inputs is roughly 5%. That's the truth. And it's not just Anant. I would say you take any damn college in the whole world, faculty input is 5 to 6%, and rest is peer learning. How do you learn together? How do you work together? Because most of the time you will be spending together doing assignments or doing some kind of social projects or exploring your interest, etc. So that's where your growth as an individual happens. That's where you mature as a human being. So college is not just input as information from the academic side, but it's also making you as a person, like you gaining your own individuality. So it's very important to develop that culture. And I think in interaction design, we really, really focus hard on developing some kind of internal culture, a culture within a culture where you need to create something together, you need to go out and explore. So we pay a lot of attention in identifying projects where students step out of the classroom, because it's important to test some of the learning in the classroom and put it to the real world. So Sarthak was mentioning about green signal. The brief by the municipal corporation was very clear. They had started a school for underprivileged children, and they were saying that these children usually are the children you see on different crossroads begging, but their parents are not allowing them to go to local schools because they need to beg. So, and they came up with a program that why don't we pick them up in buses and we'll teach them for a few hours and we'll drop them back at the crossroad where they usually live, and they can continue, doing what they do. But in just 2-3 hours, we'll give them something to learn, and maybe through that they will go to regular school. They will get inspired and they'll get prepared to go to regular school. So वो brief था. But they were facing a lot of trouble in terms of making this learning program more comprehensive. So as a designer, your principal job is to empathize, to care for the other. Only then you can understand the problem better and help them solve the problem. Ultimately, they have to solve themselves, but you facilitate solving the problem. So in this, the brief was, can we make the program more comprehensive? Can we help them in making it more holistic? And we came up with a framework which we continue to work with, where soft skills and vocational skills. So this time we are working with them, teaching a vocational skills. That's why Anushri mentioned that we are learning how to work with cardboards. So basically we will work with found cardboards, जो packaging के गत्ते कबाड़ी के यहाँ मिलते हैं. So we are learning to make artifacts out of that. We teach that to these kids, and these kids use that to sell as an in different formats, the artifacts they make out of it, and then make a living. So they can sort of take care of their own expenses without really having to beg on the street. So this is one aspect. The other aspect was working with theater people and learning how to develop concept, teaching them to how to develop concepts, how to work as a team, how to articulate ideas. So we worked on the soft skills part. Now we're working on the vocational skill part. So we'll continue to work with them. Eventually, we'll create a design toolkit, which we will hand it over to municipal corporation. Look, guys, that if we get out of this entire equation, then you can use this design toolkit to continue this program for a long time to come. So these toolkits are set of ideas, set of experiments which we did and which we thought really worked. So as a designers, we facilitate. It's not just as a helicopter, we landing in this program and then getting out. So it's our responsibility to make sure that the things we do has some kind of a lasting and transformative impact. So with that idea, we took and the course, which is actually, this is part of a course called user research part 1 and user research part 2. So this becomes a user group where you actually learn certain user research techniques, real tools which you can apply to products also, and you can apply to social context also. So you learn quantitative research tech tools as well as qualitative research tools. But here you take qualitative research tools and apply it in the real world in some ways. So it's like putting the proof of pudding is in eating, that kind of a thing. So, and also it's very important for us to step out and talk to the real world. And I truly believe that the real education is dialogue, learning how to have a dialogue with you and the other, and how can you facilitate that. And if you were to understand interaction design in a very, very simple way, you can understand it. It is facilitating dialogue or interaction between a person and a person, or a person and an object. That's about it. One of the finest experience design, earliest experience design you can think about is go to Disneyland. Disneyland is a great experience design, format where you go into that space, you're completely transformed, even if you have not gone, but you have seen in movies, you have seen in pictures, you have some idea what this place is all about. You're completely transferred into a new world, which is very experiential, which is a different world. Somebody thought of those nitty-gritties of that experience. Somebody thought of, what this place should look like, what this should place sound like, what this place should smell like, what this place should feel like, so somebody really thought through this entire process and put this whole thing together before the term interaction design was even invented. Interaction design terminology, like as a term, only came in 1990s, and Disneyland goes back to all the way back to 50s and 60s. So in a way, interaction design has always been there all around us. It's only in very recent last 30 years that it has been codified into a field, and where people are learning specific tools focused on interaction design, primarily to facilitate the flood of digital tools that are coming and becoming part of our day-to-day life. But what is happening now is interaction design is very, very clearly moving beyond screen. And, we got a teaser through Pokemon, everybody was playing that augmented reality. It was one of the great experiments to seep a new technology in everyday life through a game. If I were to tell you use augmented reality, you will like, okay, I'll use it somewhere. But if it comes through a game, adaptability was super high and it was contagious. It was almost like people wanted to ban it. It was so bad. So where it is moving, the interaction design is moving beyond screen. It is becoming the new interaction design is multi-sensory design, where all these years we were limited to the experience of sight and sound. Now we are moving in a world where all the other senses will become part and parcel of our everyday experience. Your touch, your smell, your sight, your sound, everything. It's no longer going to be about sight and sound. In order to create experiences and design which involve multisensory, your learning has to be very wide. It can't be just visual learning. It has to be very experiential learning. And there are no textbooks out there which has a clear definition कि इसको ऐसे पढ़ेंगे. So what we try to do is try to create a program which is slightly more, rounded, in the sense that you get to work with different senses. So you are kind of prepared to work with multisensory design world, which is emerging and is going to be so much part of our lives, that you're more prepared. And then you go ahead and, work professionally or do your masters focusing on, specific skill sets you want to develop. You can do that. But from last couple of years since I've been with interaction design, I can very confidently say that we are achieving 100% placement almost. All the students get placed in interaction design very, very quickly rather. And in fact, we students sometimes get choice to either go here or go here. There are two different places they can go and work. But I tell them, and my brief is very clear, that India has been a kind of a back office of a design world or the IT world for many, many decades now. It's for us now to become design leaders. The designer should get a seat at the leadership table. And for that, designer needs to be aware of the market economy, needs to be aware of the motion economy, need to be aware of the energy economy, basically, the designer needs to be more aware for them in order to get a seat at the leadership table, where they can lead with certain vision, with certain ideas, which can drive the companies, which can drive businesses. In order to do that, the education needs to be much more comprehensive, and not just so-called UI and UX. Of course, there are a lot of bulk of jobs in UI, UX, and students are learning that and getting jobs in it. Of course, you will get it. What we're trying to do is open up the possibilities of a lot more, that you can do a lot more. The world is much wider, the much wider set of opportunities for you. So there is a student in interaction design, he's totally interested in game design, and we never stop them for sort of not doing games. So he tailors a lot of his assignment towards games. So he brings game design in a lot of his assignment, and that's perfectly fine because he's deeply interested in games and he can tailor. So if, let's say, you're interested in experience design, you can tailor a lot of your projects and assignments in that direction because you want to develop and become more proficient in that area. So that way you get the freedom to sort of tailor your assignment, but you have the specific instructions, you have specific inputs, but you get the freedom to interpret it and move it along in the way you like. So that is pretty much, that freedom is there. And we have a very expert faculty, which with their domain expertise coming in and teaching specific skill sets. So that is also very much part and parcel of the interaction design program. So having said that, I will just tell you this, that just a second. I need to stop sharing. Okay. Okay, so if you see interaction design, actually, I thought I'll go for the slideshow, but I in fact covered all the points in the slideshow. Like, it is moved from sight and sound to touch, sight, sound. So I covered that point. So 5 main dimensions, you can Google it. It's very much there. It's words, visuals, space and objects, time and behavior. Just like the 5 key dimensions of interaction design. And that's why I said it's going towards multisensory design, So one of my seniors designed the New York City subway vending machine. So the brief was the vending machine interface was very complicated. People coming to buy tickets for subway were getting a little confused. So he designed it in a way, color coded it and simplified it in a certain way. And he was an interaction designer, so that even if you're not technical person, don't have that knowledge, you can easily buy your subway ticket and get a change if you want. It was as simple a brief as that. So people apply the knowledge and the learning from the field of interaction design and can apply it in a wide array of industry. So I think it's 5:45, and last 15 minutes should be, this was an interesting slide. I just would say quickly, if you think about interaction design, if you take a football game, how many, levels of interactions are happening. If you just think about it, it's mind-boggling. It's between the players playing the game. It's between the referee and the players. It's between the media, which is outside, and the players. It's between the advertising agencies, which has placed Heineken over there, and they are wanting the audience after finishing the game, go to the bar and have a beer, Heineken. So there are multiple levels of interaction design happening within a very simple image of a football game. So somebody is thinking about various levels at a meta level, but somebody is thinking at a very micro level. So it's a very this is a very interesting project, which I'll just show it to you. It's done by interaction designer. It's called Daniel Hirschman. He's my classmate.
We were by
And
Cornell Medical College.
I don't know if you can hear.
It's audible, sir.
It's audible. So it's a very simple brief, and what I'm telling you is it can be totally taken to an area which is very fun and interactive for people. So it's a very short video of like 2 or 3 minutes. So maybe I thought it would be interesting, different kind of interaction design example. I'll just play
to come up with a design for a donor recognition wall for their new research building, which is in the Upper East Side of New York.
Really key to recognise all of the financial contributions.
Across the street, it's a huge image that you see animating, but as you get closer and closer, you reveal all of the detail and the text within that. The second journey, or the second axis, is somebody passes the wall and looks into the window for a fleeting moment, and they see the wall disappear and reappear due to the lenticular effect.
So the whole idea is that from a distance, you see something and it draws you in to see more and more information.
Part of our response to the brief was to design something that would speak the language of discovery and research. Every part of the wall is unique. Every bit of the design was designed from scratch.
It's quite molecular, and we like that connection as well to the medical world.
We had a platform that we could create super high resolution imagery. The challenge beyond that was how we could animate the wall and bring it to life. So a huge amount of challenges involved. And that's where having Herschel Mann as a technical partner on this was fantastic.
A project like this could never be done without a really significant and solid collaborative process. We obviously are really excited about building permanent digital art pieces. The killer thing about it is that you've got these LCD screens, and then you've got these lenses in front of those LCDs, which take a square thing and make it round, and almost it feels spherical because of the way the light works inside of that lens.
This installation had to be integrated to the architecture.
It was really more like a veil that went over the stone. It sort of forced us actually down a very interesting route of doing an exposed electronics piece.
Everything about it is unique. The hardware is completely bespoke. The software is custom built. The imagery is unique to Weill Cornell Medical College.
We've built a whole sort of CMS content management system, which they can access straight through their web browser at Weill Cornell. It is extensible beyond us by design.
It's beautiful and it's abstract and also absorbing.
With a project like this, you get to make something and watch it get better and better and better as people add more and more content over time. That is amazing. Wow, man, that's exciting.
So the reason I liked that project, because I know Daniel, and Daniel actually came from a sculpture background. He did his sculpture. He's from South Africa, and he came because he liked to build things with his own hands. He used to work with clay, he used to work with wood and all that. And here he was able, when he was with me in the college, he was able to mix his interest in making objects with electronics and was able to sort of now turn into a profession. So interaction design will include you learning basics of electronics also. You will have to learn basics of electronics and bit of a programming also. in order for you to do at least three studios which are focused on learning on electronics and programming. So that's also very much part of the curriculum, apart from your research courses, your web technology courses. So it's, yes, it is tech oriented in many ways, but it's also very human and life oriented in lot many ways. So I open the floor for Q&A.
We already
If there
have
are
a
any-
couple of questions. So
Yes,
we'll take
please.
one question. So can we expect similar webinars on other concentration areas? So yes, there is series. This is the first session of the series where we are talking about interaction design. On Saturday, we are doing session on fashion design. On Monday, we are doing the session on interiors and space design. On Tuesday, we are doing it on moving image. So moving image covers filmmaking, animation, and podcast design. And on Wednesday, we are doing for product design, and communication design will do it after that. I have not yet got the confirmation on dates, but yes, these are the confirmed dates for the session. So I will be sharing the links like I had shared yesterday. You will receive mail, you will receive links for registration from your POCs. So yeah, this was the first question, sir. Specifically for interaction design, one question from Shelja is, what type of industry students have the job opportunities?
Product companies, digital companies, experience design companies, agencies, all are open to people working in the extended reality or virtual reality space, web design space, app design, product design, that space. So there are some students who are working in extended reality industry right now. Some students have already joined that industry, which the current batch, which is graduating from interaction design, is working with extended reality. There are some students who are working with product companies like very famous apps which you use in a very day-to-day life. So the people are working in those kind of companies also. So people are working you can think of experience design companies, like people designing custom retail spaces, custom exhibition design spaces. So there are multiple companies doing that, especially creative agencies are also that's also a possibility. So yes, it's wide. These are the current students who I'm telling you, these are the people where they're already working, but it's pretty wide in that way.
Okay. Sir, another question is from Hirsch. So there are 4 points. I am clubbing all those 4. So he says that we have around 90 days before we come to Anant for the start of the session. So during that time, what are the software skills that he can learn? What are the is coding important for UX UI? And what type of coding language we learn in UX UI, and what softwares we are using for the UI UX?
I think before you come to Anant, you have 90 days. I would say that, you just learn basic skills. If you like using how to use Photoshop or Illustrator, things like that, I think those will be utilitarian sort of kind of skills, which will be applicable in multiple projects. As for the coding language, I would say just get familiar with HTML and CSS. That would be basics. If you are not already familiar, I think get familiar with that. So that will help you get some kind of start already when you get into web technologies course, because sometimes students do struggle with web technologies because they have no previous experience in sort of coding. But if you do basic, you're not expected to become very proficient, but if you have just basic skills of HTML, that will help you get started. So I think those are the critical points.
Sir, Amay wants to know what laptop is better for interaction design, MacBook or Dell?
Both work, depend on the configuration you have. I think there are students in my class who use Mac and PC. So I don't have a personal sort of favorite. I personally use Mac, but there are a lot of students who are using PC as well, and which is perfectly fine.
And my suggestion would be don't rush in just now
Yeah.
to buy the laptop.
Because these are expensive
Yes.
products. So I would say if you have something very functional, just work with that. Once you're in the program, you
Yes.
talk to your seniors, you have a better understanding of what your area of interest is. You can sort of get a machine that configures best for that. Let's say you're in fact interested in game design. Within a game design, you're interested in a language which is very sort of consuming in terms of processing. Then you need that kind of a machine that helps you process that high resolution and does and can render images very fast. So don't rush into it. Don't spend the money just yet.
So next question is, what is the career outlook for college student after graduating over coming next 5 to 10 years?
I mentioned, what is happening in next 5 to 10 years, lot of, especially in the interface design, the UI side, lot of jobs will get automated and templatized. So today we may see some opportunities in it, but 5 years or 10 years down the line, that might not be so many opportunities. Of course, one thing that will always remain irreplaceable, even if we go into the matrix age, is imagination. And I think that is the crux of interaction design program, to develop your imagination. Once you have that, even if multiple things are getting automated, you will still find relevance and you will still find areas to work in. So that is the bottom line.
So your question is, can we take one major, one minor? Example, fashion is major and interaction is minor. So there are 7 minors that we are offering: minor in urban design, minor in graphic design, minor in design for health and well-being, minor in product design, minor in sustainable lifestyle fashion, and minor in furniture design. So these are the 7 minors apart from the 7 majors that we are offering. So these are the options which you have, and minor you have to choose same time when you're choosing your major. That is the end of year 1.
So interaction design does not offer a minor, but you can take interaction design as your major, and you can any of these 7 minors, you can choose any minor you want. So that's up to you.
Do we have internship programs for this type of design, and when do they start? So I think for this, I have Bhavna ma'am in the panel. Bhavna ma'am, if you can unmute and answer this question, please. Ma'am, you are not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible now, ma'am.
Okay. So as Sir is here, usually we suggest students to go for the internship program between their 3rd and 4th year during the summer break. So that's how the students can learn better from the industry. At the same time, they can also contribute in their life projects as well. Other than that, we keep on engaging them with various other engagements, like participating into various competitions related to interaction design. We give them a chance to either intern or get more information about metaverse and companies like these. So yes, many things will go forward too. But after their 2nd year, they can get an internship done in between their summer breaks.
Okay, so I forgot to introduce Bhavna ma'am. So Bhavna ma'am heads the career services office. So she would be helping in your internships and placements. And more importantly, she will prepare you for all this internship and placement processes. So it's not only just bringing in companies, she also grooms you for you. She make you prepare for all this internship and placements. Shelja has another question. You were talking about course content like knowledge of electronic, maybe basic coding, how the students from humanities background will be able to understand these areas.
Very easily. There are I don't know if Sarthak is here or other.
Sarthak is here, sir. Sarthak is here.
So he can tell you that a lot of students have no knowledge of electronics at all. They have no exposure, but they also learn. So the faculties do make sure that everybody is sort of on the same page, and they introduce you to the basic concepts and learn how to code very from the very basic level. So that's not a problem at all. You're not really expected to come in with some kind of knowledge already. If you have some knowledge, then it's great. If you don't, it's not a problem. Maybe Sarthak, you can tell your classmates, so many of them have no exposure to coding at all.
I mean, coding isn't that hard, so you should not be afraid of coding, number one. And number two, if you come from any humanities, commerce, any kind of background, even if you are from science, you need to relearn coding. Coding like evolves over time. So basic languages like HTML and CSS, as sir mentioned, those will stay with you for like all of your lifetime. And if you understand the logic once of any code, then you can work with any language which comes in the future. So yeah, that would be it. So you need to understand logic and not the language in code.
Great. That answers, I think. Anybody else?
Akash has a question. Can you explain how one can learn design without enrolling in a college?
Life. Life, observe closely how everything is designed around you. The entire world is, nothing is in front of you that is not designed. So look carefully, think carefully, and and there are hundreds of online courses. Just go ahead and do it.
Pradeep is asking, sir, what is the difference between visual communication design and interaction design? Please explain it with an example of what type of job.
I think I have done it
this
multiple times. So I don't think I have to repeat. You can just watch the video. And all the students also did it. And I think I read somebody was confused between communication design and what to choose. And guys, if you have not yet decided, and it's completely okay, you get the whole year to be part of the foundation. You talk to your seniors, you understand the field, you come and talk to faculties, and then you choose what you feel is what you like to do. So it's okay to come into college without having a very clear sort of idea whether I want to do communication design or moving image or interaction design. It's totally fine.
Bhavna ma'am, there's a question from Renuka. If you can please share some statistics on interaction design placements. The package that has been offered to the students of interaction design.
Okay, so here I would like to focus on one thing. The packages are sometimes based on the company. At the same time, the packages are being offered based on the assignments they did during the interview process, as well as their personal interview with the organization. That means their personal skill set of individual student is also very important. So instead of, so me and sir and all the other faculties suggest students to work on the skill set first. So that's how sometimes you can also have a higher package in the industries, okay? But usual package offered to an interaction designer ranges from 5.5 LPA until 12 LPA. Okay, there are also other algorithms. Sometimes the companies offer work on the virtual mode. Okay, so that means that they don't have to travel to the company, and every other thing is being taken care by the organization. Sometimes they work in a tier, you can say in a metro city or a tier 2 city. So the placement offers are sometimes are being affected by this thing as well. But there is no much difference for for a deserving student who has shown excellent communication skills, presentation skills, at the same time their passion, as well as worked really good way, or you can say presented work in a good way during their assignments of the interview process. So all three things, your sincerity, your integration, your presentation, and your communication skills with your academic as well as your skill set. So it is a mix of all.
Thank you, Bhavna ma'am.
I believe I answered the questions what the student
Yes, yes.
Uh,
Vijay sir has to leave, and he has some commitments. So before that, sir, there is only one last question for you. Rest all I will take care of. As softwares are coming day by day, there are some softwares where AI is doing everything that a web developer and designers do. So my question is, what happens to the web developer now? Like if the softwares can do everything in a few seconds, then what is the role of developer or designer?
I think the developer and designer role never gets redundant. Somebody is even designing that AI, interface. Somebody is designing how the algorithms will work. So I don't think yes, a lot of it will get templatized. I mentioned a lot of it will get automated, but the role of imagination never dries out. It will always be room for it, and especially the interaction design. As you can, I'm telling you where it's heading. It is heading towards non-screen based interaction. It is heading towards very, very experiential. In fact, it's right around the corner. By the time you guys graduate, that will be a very much, a lot of reality. You'll be working with non-screen based interaction. So don't worry in terms of, if I learn web developing and then what happens to my skills. No, I mean, people will always need websites. People will always need app designs. That is not going anywhere. But my entire sort of spiel of this last hour is to open up the possibilities that, guys, there is a world beyond web design, interface design, and what is traditionally been understood as the UI and UX. So we're trying to orient ourselves to that possibilities and work with that possibility so that you guys have a wider set of opportunities to work with. So that is my entire spiel. So yes, your basic understanding of visual skills, your basic understanding of form, contrast, color, all that will be absolutely required. All those are fundamentals. So fundamental has to be really, really strong. But on top of those fundamentals, you're very agile, and you can adapt to this adaptive technology. As Sarthak very well put it, you understand the logic of how to program, then you can learn any kind of program. So here you learn how to learn. You learn how to learn, then you can learn any program or any skill and that is the key. How do you orient and become somebody who can learn very well? So that is very critical. And I'm one thing I want to sort of park before I leave. And I tell to all my students also, learn how to write and read effectively, because that is one of the skills that help you in a long way, because that helps you contemplate, that helps you think, and that helps you concentrate. So please develop habit of reading and writing, because that will develop your concentration. Especially for a generation like ours and yours, who are completely screen oriented, having deep concentration is a challenge. So learn how to concentrate, because that is absolutely required for you to become good designers. Absolutely. It doesn't matter. We think that we can do multitasking, but actually we do one thing at a time, as the stats are showing very clearly. We do one thing at a time. We keep shifting from one thing to the other. So if you can't go deep enough into one thing, you will not be able to do anything very well. So if you want something that you can prepare to come into a college, is learn to concentrate and go deeper into a subject matter. So please, along with those technical skills and softwares, which I mentioned, develop this habit also on your as make it part of your life. Okay, so do that. Do lots of sketching, which doesn't have to be like drawings to show to the world. These are just idea sketches, just raw sketches of ideas. Fill your sketchbooks with it. Read and write. That will give you the fodder to think and reflect and generate ideas. Otherwise, it's all in the thin air, and nothing gets really registered. So develop these basic habits, and then I think you will be fine in whatever field you choose, whether it's communication, fashion, whatever. And I'm telling you, technology is becoming very much part of any field, and it's all converging. When you go out in the real world, nobody really looks at the certificate, whether you're an interaction designer or a communication designer. They look at your portfolio and they see what you can do. And in the real world, in the industry, all these people are really working very hand in hand together in a team. So you work very closely with each other. So as an interaction designer, you will have to have a very good visual communication skill also, period. You will need it, but you will need more, lot more. So yeah, with that, I will sort of leave. I need to go, but Abhishek, I'm very happy if there are queries further from parents or from students.
Sure.
You can consolidate them. We can respond to them. That's not a problem at all.
Surely, sir. Surely. So thank you so much, Vijay sir, Bhavna ma'am, Sarthak, Sneha, Anushri, for taking out time and sharing this introduction to the students for interaction design. I think it was a very good session, giving a good understanding what the students can expect out of this specialization. And thanks once again for taking out time. Thank you, students, for joining in today. As I said, similar sessions are coming up in the coming days. The next is sustainable fashion and textile design program. Introduction to that. It will be on Saturday, 5 to 6 p.m. The links will be shared with you by tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Thank you all, and those who have board exams tomorrow, best of luck.
Good luck.
Those,
yeah, good luck for your exams.
Yeah.
Do well and relax, and hope to see you guys here. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Good day.